Hey guys, it's SilverPup78 again. It's been a while. Wanted to do a video of a Samsung dryer. The model number here is DV337AER/XAA. This dryer has a problem with drying. It has no heat. Everything works fine, but it just does not put out any heat. So we already checked the fuse, make sure that the circuit breakers are fine. We checked the dryer hose and the outlet on the outside, and that looks okay. So we're going to go ahead and open up the back of the dryer, check inside, and then of course we're going to do some measuring with a multimeter. So yeah, our Samsung dryer does not want to dry, and I'm just going to do a close-up just of what the panel looks like. Okay, so with the dryer here, we're going to go ahead and test, open up the back, and we're going to go ahead and test the heating element and make sure that's working properly. And we're going to use a multimeter to do that. You just set it for the ohms or do resistance, and you know, depending on your meter, you can set it to basically any type of resistance on there. Ours, we just have it set for 2,000 ohm. But we'll go ahead and jump to opening up the back of this unit and measuring some of the terminals in the back of the element. Okay, so here's the back of our unit, and we're going to have to take off the dryer hose, the mounting piece here. Should just pop off.
We took the screws out already.
Okay.
4 screws, number 2 Phillips head.
Alright, and then just check and make sure that it's not clogged or anything. And that looks good. So inside your unit, as you see there, where that little shroud or that casing is, that's where your heating element is going to be. There's going to be 2 thermostats on the left side there, and then on the very end, I don't know if I can zoom in, but that's where you're going to have the terminals that supplies the power along the coil. So we're going to have to take an ohm meter, make sure your unit is not plugged in, because when you do resistance, you don't want to have any power on the circuit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to measure the two, each thermostat and the connectors on the end there, which could be a relay. It just depends on your unit, and see if we have a reading. Okay, so measuring off the first, it doesn't have to be exact. If it's way off of what it's measured, if the manual tells you it's supposed to be a certain value and you're measuring and it's way off, it could be an issue, but mostly as long as you're getting some type of reading on as a resistance all across these thermostat and the terminals, you'll be okay. So if we get a reading, we know that one's okay. Move to the next one. There should be three things to measure on this heating element here. So we're not getting a reading on this one. It's kind of up in there, so.
Dad, do you need help?
Anything?
Okay, yeah, we got a reading on that one. Well, we got a reading there.
Yeah, this is the second thermostat.
Okay, the second one we got a reading. Okay. Okay, so you're on there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't see any change at all.
Yeah, I'm on those
Okay.
2 terminals.
So we should have a reading on that as well. So if you have this type of dryer and you don't have any heat coming out, you've already checked and your dryer hose and everything's cleared out, and you do measurement across your heating element, that whole heating unit there, you should have a measurement across all 3. So, and we're missing one off the last to measure there. So it looks like we're going to need a new coil.
First switch or terminal you see here is actually called a thermostat. It's one of the first thermostats. The next one behind it is also a thermostat, and that white thing back there, that's your heat relay. So on these first 2 thermostats here, instead of yanking out the plugs, I'm afraid we're going to mess up the soldering on that. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 2 screws out on the first one. The second one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take the top and bottom screw out, and then down the last one there, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the red and blue wire off the terminal itself. since it's not soldered. James, you're in charge of holding the screws.
Did you actually play that? Good.
Hear me?
Yeah.
The last one, I'm going to take a pair of pliers, slide them off.
So yeah, your heating element or your whole assembly should be on the left side if you have this model.
Last one was 2 terminals. The wires, just the red's on top, the blue is on the bottom.
All right, so you unhooked all the wires. Okay.
Yes, the first 2 thermostats I unscrewed because the coppering that's done, or I'm sorry, the soldering that is done on it, you don't want to yank because you might break the soldering. So,
All right, now we got to try to get this guy out.
it should pop up.
Okay, so taking this out of the back, the 2 thermostats, we have one here, and then here's your connector that goes to the coil. So what's hard to get this out is that when you have to reach your arm in and kind of unscrew and you can't really see what you're doing. But yeah, there's one screw on the very back of this piece over here, and you almost have to just kind of use a small screwdriver to be able to get this out. Yeah, it's one screw, and you're going to have a small screwdriver reach your arm inside the hole and behind it and unscrew it. And then so once you get this whole unit out, then you take these screws out here. There's one on each side and the back, and then you'll be able to get to the heating or to the unit here. So we're gonna take a look and see what's going on.
Section missing.
Right
there. See it?
No.
Yeah, it's
So
right
yep,
there.
there we go. Completely broke. So here's our problem, and let's go ahead and get this out and put the new one in. Make sure when you take the old coil out, the connector, you're going to have to bend. Each metal piece here has a little tab that's bent out on the bottom. So you're going to take a pair of needle nose, you're just going to squish it flat, and then this piece is going to go straight back, and then you can replace it. Here is the new heating coil. 2 terminals on the end. Here's the existing one, and if you can see, it broke off right in the middle there. So if you have the same problem, just hope that when you get this out, that there's something wrong with the coil. Otherwise, you're going to have another issue going on. So this coil is only broke on the one piece. And here's the pieces there. Now, to be able to, again, to get this off, you have to bend a piece. There's little tabs here, it's hard to see, but you're going to bend those 2 pieces flat. So when we put the new one in, we're going to go ahead and slide this connector on, and then we'll mount it back in. Okay.
Can you put that screw in there and I can push them out further? Or are they out for enough?
It's out. It's out good enough. Alright, so just going to take this little end, and we're going to bend it up, and that locks it in place. And do this one again.
Oh, I could have recorded.
Make sure.
Correctly.
Alright, so just push this back in. This is going to take a screw that go right in there.
See, the backs don't look like, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Okay.
if they had to be pushed all the way up tight on the inside.
No, that looks good. Okay, make sure before you put your heating element and housing, everything that has to do with that in the back end, you want to make sure you try to clean out your dryer. Ours is not too bad here, but there is some stuff inside. So might as well just clean out. You just use your hand.
Where's that little screwdriver?
If you have a little dog, you can send them inside the dryer and they'll fix it. Make sure when you work on your Samsung that you have a smaller type of screwdriver. You're going to have to reach your hand in the back to the left, and you'll have to reach in and then kind of put your arm around to unscrew some of the bolts around the housing of the heating elements. Okay, so just assemble the dryer back together, and then we're going to give it a test. Start it up, and we do have some heat come out.